I've been playing Magic the Gathering for about 30 years, and in that time I've used boxes, binders, bins, really anything that starts with the letter B and will hold cards to hold my collection. Each method has had their own problems. There's no easy way to see what's inside, no way to scale, and decks I wasn't using just piled up next to my collection, becoming their own hassle. So, after 30 years of compromise, I made a system that does everything I want, and it all starts with a box and a bay. This is an ultra-thin and light deck box. I have decided to call this the Bhox. But this modular bay is really the base of the entire system, and because the bay was designed to accommodate your collections, as well as these deck boxes, the Absolute Cardboard Absolute marketing team has decided to call this the Bhox Haus. We'll get into the box a little bit later, but since the entire system is based on the Bhox Haus, let's take a look at that first. The Bhox Haus is a 3D printed bay and drawer system to hold your collection. It will stack on itself and others via the dovetails on the outside of the bay. The inside of the bay has this groove which will hold the drawer into place, but also act as a support for some prototypes that I have in mind. I'll have a section later about the roadmap, but suffice to say I have a lot of ideas for expanding this system. Now the drawer itself is fairly simple. It'll hold about 750 unsleeved cards, about 410 single-sleeved cards, and 330 double-sleeved cards. And you'll have to forgive me if I don't get that number entirely accurate. I only have 2 commander decks worth of double-sleeved cards, so I had to extrapolate a little bit. And of course, it'll fit about 3 boxes and like 40 to 50 unsleeved cards, so that would make an ideal drawer for some decks and tokens or emblems. The drawer itself is completely flat on the inside, no grooves for dividers or bumps or anything, and no mounting for the handle on the front, so no potential of damaging your cards. The fronts, however, are pretty cool. They are plain or windowed. The windowed version will allow you to put cards into the little groove to identify what's in the drawers. You can put face-out cards for the color you have in that drawer, or just the card back showing to signify these are Magic the Gathering cards, or you can put a dry erase card or print out like symbols for sets. It's really up to you. The solid-facing drawers are more for a classical look, and I particularly like them. I just use different colored handles to show what is inside. Now here's my current setup. I have 2 drawers for each color identified by the handle, so 2 white, 2 black, 2 green, 2 blue, 2 red, and then I have 3 for multicolor cards, those being gold, 2 each for brown and gray, which are lands and artifacts respectively. Then I have kind of 2 open-faced ones, which I think I'm going to use for commander, since I do like having my commander separate, but we'll see, taking apart a deck or what have you. Now, my particular setup is stacked kind of weirdly, and that's mostly because I'm going to show you a prototype of something I'm working on later that'll fit there, but also it's because why the heck not? In fact, the whole point of a modular system is that you can actually set it up however you want. In fact, here is the set that my friend ordered from me, and he'll be able to set it up however the frick he wants. Now, going back to that front, you'll notice my drawers had different color handles, and that's another feature of the system. You can actually interchange those handles. Now they are form-fitting, so to get them in you want to line them up, and if you have a windowed face, just use your thumbs to hold that card down, then ram them up against a wall or a desk to get the handles in. And unlike your mother, it won't text you nonstop for days after. The handles will be in there firm, but if you swap them out over and over, they can probably get a little bit loose, probably nothing major, so it would be in your best practices to not replace them super often, and when you pull the handle, try pulling out, not like up and out. And with each Bhox Haus, you will get a handle that matches the kind of base color of the bay, as well as one of the 8 colors of Magic the Gathering, so an individual Bhox Haus will get 1 additional including the matching, and the bundle of 4 will get 4 additional included with the 4 that you would get with the normal matching pair. Now, let's get back to the box real quick. The box is my attempt to make an ultra lightweight deck box that will still hold up in a bag, but will also fit into this storage drawer system. This is for those decks that you do want to keep together but just currently aren't feeling it, or maybe you want to keep them together to do an overhaul or upgrade a little bit later on, and just want it all in one place for now. So you still need it to be all there and all together, but not out in the open or taking space up on your shelves or your desk. But it is also handy enough of a deck box that if you do get the itch to run it, it's easy to identify and go. So the box will hold essentially 100 single-sleeve cards, and what this actually means is that it will hold like 100 single-sleeve cards exactly. You could probably fit 101, but it's actually designed to hold 99 single-sleeve cards and like 1 or 2 empty sleeves. The extra card, which I recommend being your commander, actually goes into a Gamegenic slide case, which, for most intents and purposes, this card will be your commander. You could also put a dry erase card in there if you want to use it for like dice storage or whatever. It's really up to you. Now, once you have the deck in the bottom compartment, take the top and kind of get the back of the cards in there first, then push the front cards until you can kind of rest the top on these little nubs. Now, once you have the lid kind of sitting on those nubs, take the slide case, rest it into the bottom groove, make sure it's pressed back into the deck box, and firmly press the lid down. Now, a couple of notes on the box. This is a nub secured box, similar to the Boulder. Now, to prevent excess wear and tear on those nubs, when you do want to release the lid, squeeze the sides with the nubs to make the lid come off easier. If you want to be handling the box, try holding it on the front and back sides. If you are holding on the nub sides, you might accidentally press in too much and loosen the lid. But you can see that while holding the front and back, this is a fairly secure deck box. And realistically, if you're holding the nub side, it's pretty secure as well. And since this is strictly smaller than the Boulder, it will not only fit into the Bhox Haus, it will fit into any other storage design for the Boulder, like the Archive or Omnihive or whatever hive they have out now. For those double or triple sleevers out there, sorry, it's incredibly hard to make a sleek and thin deck box for storage purposes when you need to double sleeve your cards. But I do have a less elegant solution because I don't want you all left out. This is the Bhox, because it's like a box, but wider. The crack team in Absolute Marketing has done it again. Now the Bhox will hold 80 double sleeve cards on each side. So you can stack that however you like for your double sleeve commander decks or tournament decks or whatever, and then just fill the rest with tokens or whatever. You could split it 50 cards, and not worry about it either way. It's the same nub closure system as the box, but since it will hold more weight and have that weight fly up against the lid, I wouldn't jostle it around a lot. Again, this is mostly for storage and is probably less secure for out and about use, but it should still be fine like in a bag. Oh, one more thing about the Bhox is that you can actually remove this center divider, and now you have a big storage box for dice tokens, pins, whatever. But for me, I just really wanted something that I could integrate with the Bhox Haus system, but also hold my oversized plane chase cards. Remember, the priority of this whole system is to reduce the random storage needs of the average Magic the Gathering collection, to get it all into one place and make it all work together. One thing I did fail to make for this system is dividers, because mostly I don't use them personally. And I know that the needs of people who do use dividers are kind of all over the place. They could be sets, color, card types, whatever. And I personally can't figure out one cohesive universal divider that works for everyone. And if I can't do that, then I don't want to make one. So if you do want dividers for your particular Bhox Haus or for your regular storage systems, I would actually look into the sponsor of this channel, Wasted Wizard. They make a terrific set of dividers. Like seriously, they are $23 for a set of 77 or so, I think, quality plastic dividers. They each have sections for each color and card type. They even have card dividers for some of the niche card types, like conspiracies and emblems. And they all have very thematic and color appropriate graphics. You can follow the QR code on screen here, and I'll have a link in the description if you want to check them out. So dividers off the table for a while, but that's realistically the only thing on the back burner for the Bhox Haus. I want this system to be actually modular, not just for the drawers and the storage, but for like your entire gaming system. Like I want this to be the Death Star of collection storage, or actually I want it to be the speaker big rig from Fury Road of collection storage. Let me show you a bit of the roadmap that I have for upcoming additions to the Bhox Haus system. These little rings are not for sale, but they do come with a Bhox Haus order of any increment. You can use 2 of these, slide them either onto any of the outward facing dovetails or inner facing dovetails, and then you actually have a playmat holder right on the side of your Bhox Haus. Easy peasy. I'm going to have a full offering that's a horizontal playmat storage with horizontal rings that slide onto the bay, and then sort of another catch or holding system below that you would slide below so that you can store multiple playmats on the side of your system. Now for full disclosure, I had ChatGPT make that diagram. Man, I had to pay $500 and it took 3,000 gallons of water, but you can't argue with quality. You may remember that my collection had that big open space, right? Well, I understand that people will have, current active decks and fancy deck boxes or something they will want to display or just won't fit into the Bhox Haus system. So I'm also currently designing these slide-on shelving attachments, which will hide the dovetails and make for a smoother landing for your displayed items. Not just the bottom, but also a top frame, so you could actually have your collection going around a prized possession, like a cool graded card or something. And to show a much further roadmap for upcoming designs, here's a brief list of ideas, ranging from close to prototype to pure idea. Outer slips to hide the dovetails if you want a very smooth exterior, probably for when you have the Bhox Haus on a desk or up against the wall where there's nothing kind of surrounding it and you can see the exposed pieces. Also a foot system for if you want the Bhox Haus to be kind of like its own cabinet on the floor. This would probably include a taller and wider bin on the bottom to mimic how filing cabinets and drawers on the floor are typically done. I also have plans for a resistance-based stopper, so your cards won't slide in the drawer, but also you don't need like 10 of them if you only have a few cards in the drawer. This should kind of do resistance toward the outer walls and stop it from sliding from front to back. I'm also thinking about house units that are kind of like these open bins instead of bays in case you just want like an open bucket on the side or the top. Also a smaller mini drawer that sits on top of those grooves in the Bhox Haus bay for a smaller 2-tier drawer system. My thinking is like dice on top, maybe like pins or tokens or something on the bottom. Just a little something for anyone to customize their situation with. And last but not least, a panel you can slide on the top with built-in risers for display purposes of deck boxes, Funko Pops, whatever. And they'll all be usable with the original Bhox Haus design. A truly modular system, not just stackable boxes, for use by actual humans with very particular gaming needs. I have opened an illustrious and exclusive Etsy store for your box housing needs here and in the description below. The listing will have a bit more technical data for each of the items, as well as listings for the Bhox Gradients, which are just standard boxes in design, but made from PETG filament instead of PLA, and they have this cool gradient color for those who want a little bit of a fancier deck box, but still the thinness and storable capabilities of the box. Now, STLs will be available in a couple weeks, mostly because I'm not actually sure what the best way to do that would be at the moment. I'm thinking they would be available on Patreon in a particular tier or something like that. If you're a fellow 3D printer and you have suggestions on how you would generally like to purchase something like this, either feel free to leave a comment or you can follow me on Threads and you can let me know there. Like, do you prefer individual files or them all as a bundle or some kind of recurring thing? Since there are so many add-ons in the planning stage, should I do updates to bundles or drip feed or just sell kind of like packages of drops? I'm really open to all suggestions at this point, but I think the latest they'll be available is July 1st. So again, if you want to actually follow me on Patreon or Threads or here, I should have an update relatively soon. And additionally, if you want a custom order, or I guess like a wholesale order, email me at the business email in my description. It'll be cheaper than going customizing and through Etsy. My Etsy offerings are going to be very, very slim initially as I kind of gauge interest and what people actually want. But if you really want like 10 box houses in red with pink drawers and orange handles, like reach out and I'll be happy to put together something for you. This has been something I've wanted for a long time. So hopefully that means other people have wanted something like it too, and they'll be interested. And if not, you know, there are a lot of other storage systems you can feel free to use. If you do want more updates or more reviews of cool 3D printed stuff, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you did enjoy the video, feel free to like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around.